The Harsh Realities of Living in the Navajo Reservation by Daniel, Russell, Shane, and Yasir. First off, we want to know where the original Navajo people came from. It is believed by several scientists that they came from the Athapascans tribe, which were located around Canada and Alaska region. They eventually branched off and became the Navajo tribe. The region that they encompass is in between four states, which are Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. The Navajo Nation was officially established as a sovereign state in 1868. Today, the Navajo are the largest Indian tribe in the United States. The land covers about 17.5 million acres.
We will briefly be talking about their beliefs and traditions. The Navajo people believed in good and evil and that everything in the universe had a purpose, whether it be good or bad. They wanted the universe to remain in balance, and if it wasn't, then evil would take control. They also believed in holy people. These holy people had the power to help or hurt their tribe. These holy people included Talking God, Changing Woman, Bear, Ant, and Corn people. When members became old, they would perform a sing, which was believed to cure the sick and protect their family. Another tradition they used to heal others was through sand paintings. They would place these paintings on the floor or on clean sand, and they would tell a story of a magical event. In the event that someone passed away, the funeral practices consisted of burying the body and their hogan was burned down. Then the people attending the funeral would take a zigzag way home so no evil ghost would follow them. So the next topic we wanted to discuss was what the average day was like for the Navajo person. Life on the reservation included sleeping in hogans that had no heat, running water, and electricity. Even though they had running water going through the reservation, the government didn't give them the rights to it, and it is used today to water the dry deserts in Arizona and Nevada. People have to travel miles just to get running water, which could take up most of their day. In addition, they would farm animals for products, which included sheep, goats, and cattle. Even though the animals are individually owned, the products of the meat are shared throughout the community. For example, one person could own a cow, but whatever benefits they received from the cow was then shared to everyone else in the community. Next is the children in the reservation. At a young age, they were taught to lasso animals to prepare them for future rodeos or hunting. The traditions are no longer being taught in their education system, and many kids do not know their own language because of the English influence. The young women are taught to be nurturers in their family, and the young boys are taught to be protectors. One big hardship for the Navajo people in the reservation are their limited opportunities. Jobs are hard to find on reservations, and if there are any opportunities, the wage would be $25 for the whole day. Bosses cannot afford minimum wage, and people often leave the reservation to find new work or opportunities. One big thing that happened with the Navajo people was alcoholism. Much stress was placed upon Navajo people, which led to alcohol abuse. It has been such a big problem that it is illegal to have alcohol in the reservation because it has often led to violence.
Some of the current problems that people in the Navajo reservations are experiencing are alcoholism, suicide, housing, and employment. Here is a chart of some of the current health problems the Navajo people are experiencing. The chart is based off of the Navajo's top 15 age-adjusted leading causes of death. I'll be talking primarily about their high suicide and alcohol-related deaths. Currently, alcoholism is recognized as the most important health problem of the Navajo Nation. Generally, in studies conducted, there are numerous indicators that there is a drinking problem that current Navajo people are experiencing. In the Navajo tribe, about 40% of the total population are involved in some type of alcoholism or alcohol abuse. They are classified as a heavy or abusive drinker by indicators of quantity, frequency, and variability of drinking. Part of this problem with alcoholism stems from lifestyle and healthcare. There were several intervention strategies that were created, such as the NAP, which stands for the Navajo Alcoholism Program. The NAP was severely underfunded by about 75%. According to Ennis and Reynolds, who published a critical appraisal of the Navajo healthcare system, an etiological explanation of alcoholism and alcohol abuse suggests that the success of any program which is confined to the healthcare system is unlikely. The problem is very complicated and entrenched in the Navajo culture. The statement to me is very interesting because it indicates that alcoholism might be ingrained in their culture. Here is a chart by the National Vital Statistics Report that indicates a severe problem with alcoholism among the Native American population. I think that is crazy how the Native Americans' alcohol-related liver disease is almost 4 times the general US population. According to several studies, suicide remains a significant mental health tragedy. Just recently, around 2010, the Navajo Nation experienced a peak suicide rate of 32.1 per every 100,000 people, compared to the national average of 12.5 per every 100,000 people. 2 significant factors that are associated with suicide come from mental health and alienation from their family and community. Other factors such as alcoholism and just poor general health also contribute. In a survey of 6,637 people, which was conducted by doctors in a research document titled Risk Factor for Suicide Attempts Among Navajo Adolescents, 15% admitted to a past attempt to kill themselves, 35% of these attempts occurred more than 1 year before the survey, 58% of the students tried to kill themselves at least once, and 9% had a friend that actually committed suicide. An important finding of this study is the link between the suicide attempts of the respondents and those of their family and friends. The exposure of seeing family and friends commit suicide is a contributing factor in influencing themselves to commit suicide. I think that it is crazy how the exposure of friends and family to suicide induces some of the Navajo people to also commit suicide. Here is an interesting chart from the Navajo Department of Health on suicide based on gender and age.
Employment in the Navajo Nation is very scarce and causes many problems for most households. Because of this, there is a lack of economic opportunity throughout the nation and is significantly lower than the United States. To put it into perspective, unemployment is 7 times higher and capital income is 4 times lower in comparison to the United States. If a household is unable to find a job within their reservation, they are often forced to look for a job outside of it in order to provide and take care of their family. According to NavajoBusiness.com, their current unemployment rate is 42% and 43% live below the poverty rate. Due to a lack of resources and many other factors, housing is known to be extremely difficult for the Navajo Nation in terms of the amount and functionality. In addition, the amount of people homeless or overcrowding into a single home has become a serious problem throughout their nation. In part, this issue can be blamed on the actual owner/family of the household because of their non-resistance to turning away other family members who do not have a place to stay. For them, it is common to have multiple generations living in a single household that is usually too small. For functionality, about 1/3 of Navajo homes are substandard when it comes to plumbing and kitchen standards and having no bedrooms. Looking at the statistics for the Navajo Nation housing, you can get a better idea of how significant their housing situation is when compared to the national average. For many average households, homes with proper electricity, plumbing, sewage disposal, and other essentials are rarely an issue and can be replaced if necessary. For the Navajos, they are clearly lacking in the basic necessities all households should have and is definitely a problem throughout their reservation. To me, seeing these numbers are mind-boggling, especially because of the time period we are living in. They are very outdated in many aspects and need help in multiple areas.
In a nutshell, the living conditions in the Navajo reservations are rough. Basic necessities like running water is unheard of in their culture. These lack of necessities and limited opportunities have led to emotional trauma, which include alcohol abuse and suicides. As natives have tried to stay on the reservation, they have come to the harsh reality that they may need to leave in order to find a better life in the city. Researching this project was tough for us emotionally because it put a perspective on how simple our lives are compared to theirs. Things that take us 2 minutes to do takes them hours. Although the reservation has been dealing with major obstacles to get through their daily lives, they still see the light at the end of the tunnel. Through collectivism, they are able to unite with each other and share products throughout their community for resources. In addition, the education system has watered down their culture and language of the Navajo people, yet they still try to make it a vital part in the development of their adolescents. Their struggle is evident, but they continue to find prosperity in keeping the Navajo culture alive. We'd like to end this PowerPoint with a quote we found that basically summarizes the Navajo people and the issues regarding the Dakota pipeline. It goes, "You can't wake a person who is pretending to be asleep." Thank you.